jonni.shreve, I have BB promos to tell like it is. Welcome back to another episode of Train With Me. Before we get started, make sure you guys like and subscribe. Don't like yet because you haven't seen the video yet. Just subscribe to the channel first, then hit the notification button, and after that, then you can like it. Anyway, we're gonna go over 3 exercises that I think you should be doing if you're doing hamstrings and you're really trying to get a crazy hamstring pump, but also grow your hamstrings. Especially people who are having trouble connecting with them. There's no way in heck you cannot connect to these movements. Now they're a little advanced, so I'm gonna go through a couple things to make sure you can do them. Some of your gyms might even have some of the pieces that I'm trying to manipulate to be able to do this, like the glute ham, which I'm gonna show you from this, and so forth. So, again, the reason why I find that these 3 exercises are really good is because we're gonna hit a lot more bang for your buck. So my thing is exercise selection, picking an exercise that can give you more bang for its buck. How many more muscles can we hit in that region? How much more of a load can be put onto the area we're trying to load, which is our hamstrings and our adductors. So basically, every one of these movements are gonna hit this and this. So, first one we'll do is a glute ham raise using your pull down area. So if you have one of these, you probably most likely have one of these at the gym. So what we're gonna do is, we have 2 different ways to actually keep yourself in this without smashing your face on the ground. First, we're putting ourselves inside and make sure this is low enough so it catches the heels. For people who have big legs, it's gonna be that much more of a challenge because you have to adduct that much more. But even if you have smaller legs, you still have to adduct to keep yourself on this pretty small of a bench here. So from the front, you're squeezing yourself together, you're squeezing your legs together, so you're already creating an adduction. And then we're gonna lower ourselves to the ground, hips first. We're on a full hip extension. We don't wanna hyperextend, but we're on a full hip extension going to the ground. Now, we're gonna use a bar here for those of you who don't have the strength, which I also don't. We're gonna use this bar here to keep ourselves upright, so when we go down, we keep everything level and all the way through. So our hips are staying here instead of being like this, right? And from here, using the bar to help you back up. So you're using the bar to help assist you get down and up. So load it somewhere close enough to aid you coming down, and then pulling up. Now again, I'm pulling up from my hamstrings, not from my butt going this way. Now, if you don't have one of these, you can use a ball. You've probably seen if people use a ball like this and roll out and then roll in. Same idea, using the ball to help push you out and in again, keep my hips forward. At the end of that, when things get really shitty, you basically do a hamstring curl, pull yourself in with a rounded back. So we're gonna let ourselves drop to the ground, and we're gonna push ourselves in, up, and we're gonna pull from the back of our knees, hamstring flexion, and then pushing back down again, pushing up and bringing it back in. And that's your superset. So basically do 10 reps of this, coming straight down with your leading with your hips, and then 10 reps after that, doing like the push-up, and then having your knees pull yourself in. So I'm gonna get Erica to do this and actually coach her up and show you guys how to hit this the right way. Good. So all the way down, we wanna make sure we are completely at hip extension here. You don't have to roll the glutes forward, just make sure we're up straight. And on the way down, pushing out. And then keep the hips are lowering first, and then coming back, push to make sure the hips come back up too. So we wanna make sure we keep ourselves. We wanna make sure we keep our chest up. So we're making sure we're pulling with just the hamstrings. So our hamstrings are pulling from here. Go ahead. So hamstring flexion. There you go. So knee flexion again. Get down here again. All the way down, pulling up. And good. And relax. And then from here, then we're doing a push-up. So we're letting our back roll a little bit more to give ourselves a little bit more activation and help. A little more momentum pushing up. And then you're gonna pull yourself in, being dorsal flex right here. Using the back of your heels to pull. Put pressure on the back of this pad, and then pulling in like this. So you should finish like this way, and let yourself go all the way down to full, and pushing up, pulling yourself in. There you go, do it again, 10 reps. And the harder it gets, the more you can use your hands to assist pushing you back up, but you're still trying to pull in from here. Keep going. Okay, so next exercise is like almost like a back extension, only we're using, again, our legs, a lot of adduction. This is a little bit more for your glutes, but again, your hamstrings are still being engaged because your adductors and your hamstrings are in a static position, holding yourself and lock yourself in while you isometrically hinge at your hips. So it's almost like taking your hips and coming down, doing like pancakes and coming up in a sense. So for this, we want to make sure at the end of this, we're only hinging here at the hips and the waist. So we're going to make sure that this part here is right at the edge of our waist so we can move freely. How we're going to hook our feet, there's two different levels. If you have enough strength in your hamstring, which is actually bonkers, and I've seen someone do this before, is going plantar flex and then hooking your heels underneath. I'm going dorsal flex, which means toes going to be pointed towards my shins. I'm going to lock them underneath the bench, like so. Right now, my glutes and hamstrings are already engaged because I'm doing knee flexion. Now from here, I'm not trying to pull my back up. I'm not trying to wrench my back up like this. What I want to achieve is engaging my glutes, push my hips into the bench while squeezing my legs together to pull my torso off the ground. So squeezing from here. So we're going to wrap our hands here. Then we're going to engage and pull from our heels and push our hips into the bench. Keep our back straight and pulling up, squeezing and down. And doing it again. Mind you, I'm not hyperextending doing this. I'm keeping it still where my glutes are engaged, pulling from here and squeezing from my glutes until I'm straight. And down and straight. And holding every rep for a second. And then doing that for 10 to 15 reps. So I'm gonna get Eric over here again. I'm gonna explain to you and show you guys a little more in depth of where I want to see you activating. Okay, so Eric, we're going to make sure you sit so our hips or waist is right at the edge of the bench. And then she's going to go dorsal flex, pointing her toes. And they're going to hook underneath the bench here, activating your glutes, hams, and straight through, straight back, all the way down to the ground. And then she's going to squeeze into the bench, squeeze her glutes, your hamstrings, where we have a nice flat back on the through and up. So up, good, we don't want to come any higher than that. Down, and squeeze. Good. And you see how the hamstrings and glutes and calves are all activated and squeezing through. So last one is one of my favorite for hamstrings. It's a lying dumbbell hamstring curl. The reason why I like this again is we have to stay adducted. So we have to squeeze the legs together, but then actually to hold the weight, we have to go dorsal, we have to go plantar flex. So we're actually activating our calves, our adductors, our hamstrings, and just getting a crazy pump. So this is one of my favorite exercises. I'm gonna show you guys how to get in. If you're by yourself, pay attention because it's pretty hard to do it when you're on your own. So pay attention. Easiest way to do this is I'm gonna have my weight in front of me, right here. I'm gonna basically get over top of it and kind of crouch down. So I kind of have an understanding that it's right behind me. I'm gonna lay myself down on my stomach and I'm gonna point my toes because that's how I'm about to pick the weight up. I'm gonna kind of scooch myself in, kind of feel the weight. I can feel the weight and I want the bar to go into the middle of the arch of my feet. So I can feel it from there and I'll start doing it from here and up. I know the weight's there. Now, when we're doing this, again, the whole point is to make sure that we're not pushing our butt up in the air like this. We're trying to really squeeze our glutes and keep our hips flat to the floor. So on the way down, we're pulling up, plantar flex, and then we're gonna go a little dorsal flex to flatten out the top, and then down, pointing the toes, and lowering, touching the floor, and back up, and squeeze, and down. You can rest your head, like so, scream, yeah, whatever you gotta do. But again, you need a lot of weight for this because you're doing a lot more with this exercise. There's not much leverage, but your hips pushing in the ground in your glutes. So I'm gonna put Erica through this again. Okay, so we're gonna start on top of the weight. We're just gonna kneel down over the weight. Kind of, make sure you got your check behind you. Sit yourself down, hips. Now, you wanna make sure that you're pointing your toes so that we can feel the bar of the dumbbell right in the arch of our feet. Pointing, you already see the calves are engaged. And pointing, and then we're gonna point and lift. Push your hips to the ground and slowly back down. You can see right from the toes, calves, hamstrings, glutes all engaged, and hips are as flat as they can be right to the floor. Alright guys, that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video with my 3 favorite exercises you guys should probably be adding into your hamstring regimen. You guys could put that in as just like one exercise as a pre-exhaust or like a finisher. You could use them all. First exercise is the modified glute ham using the pull down. Second was another modified back extension, but more so using the glutes and hamstrings. And last but not least, we did the dumbbell lying hamstring curls. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video today, guys, with my top 3 favorite movements you should be adding to your leg day, mainly hamstrings. If you like the video, guys, make sure you guys like, subscribe, and share. You know I'm gonna come up with a title like it is transparent, vulnerable truth for coaching, jonni.shreve.com. Make sure you guys get my ebook, The Ultimate Push-Pull Legs E-Training Book is out right now. Grab it and book yourself a phone consult. 15 to 30 minutes. After that phone consult, if you wanna go with training, either it's one-time plan or a recurring plan, I deduct the phone consult on any package you pick. Make sure you guys use my code Johnny15 for 50% off the Power 13 cookbook. Also use my code Johnny for 15% off fitarmy.com. Also use my code Johnny30 for 30% off letsgetcheck.com. Guys, send me your progress pics, training clips, and your video clips. All good stuff. There's some suggestions on whoever you want to see me coach up or any kind of moves you want me to coach on. Let me know in the comments below. And I'll repost it and do a video for you, because you know how it is. Iron sharpens iron. Progressive overload your life. In the meantime, keep you chasing